Okay, so we're talking about the Calgary real estate market and how things have changed drastically since last spring. We call this a street view of Calgary real estate because we're going to give you the take on what's really happening on the street, because the stats can be a little bit misleading if you just look at the overall market stats. Now, things here have changed a ton, but what Calgary really is a collection of micro markets that perform very differently based on property type, neighborhood, desirability of neighborhood, things like that. So we'll talk about the overall market first. So the market, sales have really pulled back. We're down about 17% in total sales over the same time last year. And the benchmark price is down about 2.5%, which isn't drastic. That's, the market can bounce 2%, 3% very, very quickly. That's not a huge deal. When we start getting into double digit moves, that's when it becomes a big deal. What the good news is that there's a lot more inventory for buyers. In fact, inventory has doubled, but we're still in balanced territory because we have about 2.7 months worth of inventory, which means this market is just at a nice, steady pace for the amount of people that are actually looking for homes. So the market doesn't necessarily favor a buyer or a seller. Everybody wins, which is great. Now, let's talk about the micro markets. Now, if the overall market in sales is down 17%, what's driving that pullback? Well, it's apartment style and row townhouse style properties. So apartment style condominiums, they're down almost 47% in sales over the same time last year. And we've seen a huge increase in inventory in that segment of the market. So that segment, that micro market, is performing a lot worse than, say, the single family home market, which has actually been very good compared to the same time last year. Now let's talk about locations too, because location can play a huge role in how in how this market is performing, another micro market. So we were shopping for a couple in Silver Springs, and it's been about a year of looking for them. We missed out on multiple offers, and we continue to do that. We just secured them a home a couple of weeks ago, but it took a year to do that, and we watched prices increase steadily the entire time that we were looking, and multiple offers on pretty much every property, and that is still the case in Silver Springs. It's outperforming the market. It's up about 4% in total price, whereas the market is down 2.5%. Now, conversely, if you look at one of the biggest neighborhoods in the city that turns over the most homes sell in this neighborhood, it's Panorama Hills. That is a suburban neighborhood, and suburbia tends to contract a lot faster. It's one of the first places to contract when the market starts to pull back. And what we're seeing in the biggest neighborhood in the city is an 8% decrease in price, skyrocketing inventory, and the days on market is starting to climb heavily as well. So micro markets, we can look at Silver Springs, semi-inner city neighborhood. I'd call that the semi-suburban ring around downtown, is performing very, very well and still outperforming the market. But conversely, a big neighborhood like Panorama Hills is not. So you really have to pay attention to those micro markets. If you're a home seller and you're trying to sell your home, don't compare yourself to the overall market. Compare yourself to the property type in your neighborhood only. That's all you can really compare it to if you want to do apples to apples. And then as a buyer, you can't believe all the headlines either about where the market is at. It all depends on the type of property that you're looking at and the neighborhoods that you're shopping in.